What's going on? What's happening? What it is? Welcome back, man. Episode 19 to the Millennial Masterclass podcast, servicing all millennial issues. That's right. Some great, some small, some fucking ridiculous, but we have a good time nonetheless. My name is Tris, man. I'm posted up in Harlem. Let's throw it on down to Maryland this time because, you felt like you don't go second enough. So you're going to go second today. You're going to get right. Get right with it. Let's go.
Were you ready? Less of a shot, since it was the second time. So now I'm a little more prepared. I was stressed out last time.
You were. See.
I like when things go with the flow. I'm like, okay, this is how it always goes. And then you want to switch it up and shit. I was like, oh shit. But hey y'all, it's your girl, Shonda Don, out here in Pretty Girl County. What up with you, Liz?
Hey, Pretty Girl County.
That's the shit.
You right. It's Pretty Girl County.
Is it still Pretty Girl County? I feel like it's average at best girl area. Is
Shots
what it is.
Fired.
Not you specifically, but I'm just saying that like in the DMV, it's like average girl area at best.
That hurt my spirit. I used to stay in PG County.
So did I.
But you're not a girl. You're coming at the female.
Yeah, but I had to look at them. I remember what I saw. Not a secret.
Anyway, introduce yourself.
Yes, it's Leslie, aka Les. Let me just skip right over what Tristan was saying up here in all of PG County. We apologize. These are not the viewpoints.
I don't apologize. I don't apologize at all. I know what I saw and I know what I keep seeing. Y'all got to do better. It's just simple. It's just that simple.
We do not intend to offend. This is all Tristan. Anywho, what y'all get into this weekend? Tristan, talk about something other than these women.
Man, I got into a lot this weekend, yo. Like I was really trying to I was not trying to do anything. Like I was literally trying to be like a hermit all weekend. I was like, I'm gonna be rested up because it really started Thursday night. Because Thursday night, a buddy of mine, he plays drums and he was like, bro, come out. He's like, man, you sang, yeah, come out to this open mic. Right. Didn't know we were going to two. Ended up going to two open mics in Brooklyn. I was out till all hours of the night on a school night.
On a school night.
And it was just, we were there for a minute, but I will say it was a good time. Those open mics were great. One was like a kind of a house party situation. Like they just had like a nice like place and then like they opened it up to people. They had their own little bar situation. They had Connect Four, they had Mario Kart there, and they had a full piece band. Like, yo, musicians just came from out the crevices and started playing and getting down. I did a little something there. I got up on the mic. It was cool. But like, yeah, it was definitely the vibe. And then the second open mic that we went to, that one was a little more structured. That was actually a place called the Brooklyn Music Kitchen, which like led into like Saturday's story. But no, it was cool. Open mics were dope. And then Friday, I know I did something on Friday. I forget what I did. It'll come to me at some point. But I know Saturday, I was out all over New York. I went to the Museum of Sex. Y'all maybe seen it on my story for those who've seen it. Don't believe the hype. It ain't that serious. But it's cool. I mean, it's a cool thing to do, but it's a little pricey. Like a ticket's $40, and I felt like I didn't get $40 worth of material from being in that museum. But that's just me. Yeah. So then I get home right about 7-8 o'clock. I'm thinking I'm chilling right in the house. My man's texting me, nigga, you know the show's tonight. Fuck. And then it's in Brooklyn too. So for those who don't know, like the lay of New York, I stay in Harlem. It's like 130th, right? Okay. This thing was in Brooklyn, like near like Flatbush. That's like an hour away. It's an hour away, no matter how you get there, drive or train, whatever. The only thing might be quick as a helicopter. And that might not be because I don't know where they're going to land. But like, so then I had to get my life together to go out there. But it ended up being a very quality evening, met up with some very cool people and actually met up with a musician. We'll talk about him later, but low key, he's like the best musician you never heard of. Shit is crazy. But then, Sunday was a more chill day. Hung out with some folks and got caught up on some stuff. But yeah, that was the weekend. What about y'all?
That was quite an eventful weekend.
Right. I was like, damn, like, your weekend was so eventful.
That's because the last ones ain't been eventful because I've been sick and shit. So,
Look, you might end up sick next week from being so mixy this past weekend.
No, absolutely not.
Up and down.
Rebuke that shit. No, devil is a lie. Absolutely not. It's Black History Month. I can't get sick. No.
We are shielded from coronavirus or Black History Month. I feel you.
I feel like I blinked and my weekend was over. Like
it was quick though.
I watched some shows and then it was Monday and I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything too eventful.
I saw on Instagram where they said these 2-day weekends are starting to feel like 30-minute lunch breaks.
They're not wrong.
Exactly what I'm like,
That's
damn.
real. That's
I
real.
don't understand it. But y'all also, I gotta pray for me though. So this weekend I'll be babysitting my guy kids.
Ooh,
So
Good job.
Friday. Pray for me too. Ooh,
how are
Lord,
they again?
5 and 6.
Ooh, that's that busy age. They just
Yeah, it
going
is. They're gonna get into
on.
everything.
They like all in your business. Like then they be repeating your business. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all little what are those birds, parrots? They just repeat everything.
Come on, Perry.
I'm excited though. I think it should be fun. Some good birth control.
Are we? Wow. Okay, that's important. But will you be taking them to Chuck E. Cheese or some situation such as that?
Oh, we're absolutely not staying in the house. The more we go out and like you go have fun, then you'll probably be ready to go to bed at like 7 o'clock.
Exactly. Tire them out.
So how was your weekend, Leslie?
We had the funeral services this weekend for my aunt. So
They were beautiful from what I saw on Snapchat.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful. Everything everyone had to say about her was amazing. Very sweet. It was just so comforting to know how much of a positive impact she left on everyone she encountered. But it was also nice, being with family because we haven't all been together like that since like Christmas 2019, before the pandemic and everything. So it was nice all being together again. And like we did another balloon release. And then we like my aunt liked the line dance. We did a couple line dances just in the middle of the street, where my grandma lives and stuff like that. And then
that was the lit part I was talking about right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you over here playing this shit down. Tell them how lit that was.
It was lit. It was lit. I'm not gonna lie. We just in the middle of the street, and like we all grew up on my grandma's street, right? And we have cousins up and down the street, so it's like nothing but family on that entire street.
Talk about holding down the block.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, seriously. So it was good. It was nice. And then we all hung out that evening, played like spades and dominoes. Well, I watched spades.
About to say, nigga, you play spades? When you start playing spades?
And they was clowning me. When I tell you my cousin was clowning, she's like, you went to the Mecca.
Oh, talk about it.
Trying to play spades. I said, wait a minute. I said, it's because everybody already knew how. They were trying to teach nobody. She said, no, that's real. You should have went knowing how to play with it. And my brother-in-law has tried to teach me twice. And so like it kind of sticks
only
a little
2
bit,
times.
Yeah, I gotta just keep doing it for it to actually like stick.
Okay, can we make it just a PSA for real here? Black people, it's the month of February. Niggas learn to play spades. Okay, just do this. We ain't asking about.
I'm gonna let you drive by yourself. I don't know how to play either.
Thank you.
Why do y'all not know how to play?
I could do a little something, but I'm not fast, so nobody will want me on their team.
It just gets so intense, which makes it intimidating.
Good.
Because y'all are too intense with it. And it's like, why would I want to get in on that? Y'all come ragging on me if I make you lose or something.
Well,
like,
don't renege, and then we're gonna be good. And don't cut me. Don't cut me and don't renege.
But if you underbid and all this stuff, and you gotta
it depends if you're playing with bags.
With your partners communicating.
You can't talk across the table.
But I've seen it. Like they be knowing with like their eyes, like a certain like movement or like a hair flip. Like they be knowing. I'm like, yo, I can't. I don't want no parts.
But you got to have a partner. You got to have like one partner that you play with. Like I have only 2 people I for real play with. Like 2.5 low key. One of them, my partner. Shout out to Crystal. That's Parge for life. Number 2, my lady, and then the half is my lady's mother because she is fantastic. Hey, shout out to Lisa. She could play. She's a killer.
Okay. But yeah, so that was my weekend, just spending time with family and everything. So yeah.
All right, I like it. But I guess that means it's time to move right on to the next segment, though. It's time to let these people. We're trying to give them a little something, let them know what's going on, what's hot in these streets. It's time for the bulletin board.
All right, y'all. So there's been a lot going on in the news this past week and a half with 2 specific people. So we're going to start with the first one, of course, made headlines, Whoopi Goldberg on The View.
AKA Carolyn Johnson.
Right. So if for those who have been living under the rock and just haven't heard, Whoopi Goldberg has been suspended from ABC's The View for 2 weeks after she came under fire for saying the Holocaust was not about race. The ABC News president, Kim Godwin, said last Tuesday in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. while Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. So basically, to sum everything up, Goldberg made the comments during last Monday's episode of the talk show, as she and other hosts were discussing how the Holocaust-centered graphic novel, forgive me if I mispronounce, I believe it's Moss, was banned by a Tennessee school board, becoming just the latest on a lengthy list of banned books in the US. Basically the book describes the Holocaust in detail. And so Whoopi said, personally, I'm shocked because given the story of Moss, I'm surprised that that's what made you uncomfortable, because it covers some like nudity and like graphic language and stuff like that. So Whoopi said it's about the Holocaust, the killing of 6 million people. As she continues to discuss the banning of certain books involving critical race theory, which we know is a hot button topic, and education issues, Goldberg circled back to the Holocaust and said, if we're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. So, of course, everybody was shocked when she said that, including her co-host, the audience. So she continued, she said, it's not about race, it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about. So her co-host Anna Navarro said the genocide was about white supremacy and going after Jews and Gypsies and Roma. So Goldberg responded that it was two groups of white people. And she said the minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're Black or white, because Black, white, Jews, everybody. So what else? Let me just sum this up real quick. Of course, in the headlines, Goldberg was asked to apologize. She did. They had someone come on to discuss this. So she thought all she had to do was apologize, go on a couple late night shows to discuss and apologize, and not be that. But they ended up suspending her for 2 weeks after that, and she's losing about like 192,000 with her suspension. So now she's threatening to quit the show because she feels blindsided by the network. She thought she just apologized, it'll be okay, we can move on. But now she feels like they're basically throwing her under the bus.
They are.
What are y'all thoughts?
It's bullshit.
Kristen, take it away.
Bullshit, yo, I hate this shit. Okay, so one of the funniest moments, this is just all out of the way to get back to this point, but you watch Rick and Morty, right? Everybody watches Rick and Morty? No? Okay, whatever. Anyway, there's a funny moment, right, where Rick starts talking about Israel, right? And they're like, what did I say about Israel? What did I say? You talk about the geopolitical. Okay, so I don't say anything crazy about Israel. I just talk about Israel. They're like, man, I'm not touching that one, because anytime you say anything about Israel, people get sensitive, and it happens anytime you say anything that's close to anti-Semitic. But I look at it like this. Okay. If there's a whole word, Semitism and anti-Semitism, nothing has said anything about a race or color of anybody's skin, because I could be Jewish and never know you're Jewish. I feel like that's the bigger point there. That's just the bigger point there. We may never know that you're Jewish, even if it is considered a race. Okay, whatever. I'm not Jewish. I can't speak on that. But what I can say is this: you could be Jewish and I would never know you were Jewish. That's all I can say.
Yes.
You could be Jewish and I would never even know. How many Jews passed for Gentile during that time because they had to? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that it is a much larger issue. It is about, trying to get rid of humanity, and I just felt but people, they always want to be very clear with the message, and they always beat that and kind of ram it down, because anything that's anti-Semitic, they're going to go after. But that's why there's a whole word for anti-Semitic. It would just be racism. They would just say racism. They say anti-Semitic for a reason. So that's why this is such bullshit. They do this all the time. That's why every president has to go to Israel and all those things like that. And again, no aspersions cast. I love those things. There are so many great things from that culture that I love. George Gershwin, all of those people that have contributed in so many different ways to American culture. But y'all, just stop this shit. Stop this shit. This woman is on your side. Trying to get rid of an ally. It's fucked up, y'all. It's fucked up.
All I'm gonna say is white people just want to be oppressed so bad. And that's just the fact of the matter.
But the Jews were oppressed. I'm not even, it's not even like it's
take that away. They want
not an argument.
To point it out, to validate it so much. Bro, like you said, I would not know that you were Jewish if you didn't fucking tell me. So I don't. What do you? I don't.
Yeah, we can't take away though from their experience, just like we
Yeah,
can't take away from our
comparative
ancestors.
suffering never works. You can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't do
Right.
comparative suffering.
Right.
You just
Obviously.
anything.
But Whoopi said those are white people versus white people. And
So to that point, so 2 points I want to make, because I've had this conversation with a few different people. So the first one I was having with someone else who's Black, but from like the Caribbean and stuff like that. So when I was speaking with him, I basically said, like, I think Whoopi was speaking in what we consider race in today's time, right? Where it's literally black and white. Like, you can see I'm Black, I can see a white person's white, I can see an Asian person is Asian. You know what I'm saying? So it's what meets the eye, right? So I get what she was saying, but the Holocaust was based on race, because in those times, they were, killed because they weren't considered like the pure Aryan race, right? So we can't take away from their experience, just like no one can take away, our ancestors in slavery, right? It's very complex. And then I had this conversation with my coworker who is actually Jewish. So she enlightened me on a lot of stuff. And so basically, Jewish, it's an ethnicity and a race. It's ethno-racial, right? So it's a unique situation. So I think we just have to be mindful of what we say and how we say it, because again, like, to what meets the eye, we just think it was white on white crime kind of situation, right? But when you actually look at the history and the context of it, it was about race at that time, because what Hitler was killing them for was because they were not considered pure. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's a complex situation.
Correct.
I don't think Whoopi should have been suspended over it, because she wasn't being malicious. Number two, was she maybe like a little, I don't even want to say ignorant, but she just maybe wasn't thinking of it in the context of what happened. Yes, and of course, being on that big of a platform, you have to be mindful of what you're saying and make sure you know your facts before you speak it, right? But I don't think she should have been suspended, because she apologized. She did the things to correct it. She did what the network told her to do, and then she was blindsided with this suspension. So I don't agree with that part.
I think they did that because their last name was Goldberg, and that's a Jewish last name. They were like,
so,
"How dare you? Your last name be Goldberg."
My coworker, she said that it's kind of wrong for Whoopi to change her name to Goldberg and essentially use the Jewish name and what the power that it has to like rise up in Hollywood, but then not know enough of the history.
The power of the name.
The power of the name. So all the Kravitz that changed their name to Jones and Stone and Rockstar and everything, that's okay. The power of that name, but because we'll be get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's not the conversation we have.
Double-edged sword. It's such a double-edged sword. Like you just can't talk about it. That's just all there is to it. Like I want you to talk about it. Because the thing
also, damn, Whoopi made 192 for 2 weeks.
But she's gonna get hurt if she left. And honestly, if she leaves, I think that'll be fine, just because she's been doing this show for so long. So it is kind of like, okay, what's next? What else are you gonna do? Because she can literally go anywhere and do anything and be fine regardless. So if she does walk away, she'll be fine. It may be time, because she had been on there for so long. You know what I'm saying? So either way it goes, Whoopi will be all right.
Okay, I forgot she was even on. I forgot about The View in general. I don't watch it like that. So I mean, this controversy is probably going to get some ratings for The View. So and all of that, any publicity. So
yeah, that's true.
All there is to it. But shout out to Whoopi. All that she's done. But yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's hard going to battle there. It's crazy, because I get it. Israelites, that's a race of people. I get that. Look, no one's taking that away from you. Not at all. Not in any means of capacity. Please don't come cancel us, ABC. Don't send us a ban.
Right.
We don't need one. We just don't need it.
It wasn't listening.
All right. Not yet. Maybe, a couple years from now, we really blow up to go back.
Oh, man. They're going to come back to this very segment. They're going to be like, he said all the anti-Semitic comments. So what? Nobody said anything anti. No, we're here.
Right.
We're positive.
And then they're going to play the audio. We're going to be sitting there like, oh shit, it was me.
We're gonna have to scrub this like they've been scrubbing some of Joe Rogan's old shows. They've scrubbed over 110 of his episodes from Spotify that he used the N-word in. Like 110 episodes.
So can I tell y'all something so funny before we get into the story? When I first heard this, why did I think they were talking about
Joe Budden?
Seth Rogan? I thought they were talking about Seth Rogan. Damn, he did that. I was so upset.
A member of the Jewish community as well.
It was so controversial. Like, damn. Then I saw the clip and I was like, That ain't the nigga I thought it was.
You about to be so sad if it was him. He was like, I like that white man.
Sad.
He was cool.
Joe's interesting though. Joe really does have a lot of people on, so I generally enjoy his perspective on some things. I mean, he definitely goes a little bit wild, but I feel like he's taking the place of Howard Stern in terms of like the popular kind of shock jock, you know, because he's a comedian first. Like he's a stand-up comedian, you know.
I didn't even know that until today. I was listening to another podcast and they said he was a comedian. And I was like, I don't know nothing about him. I just knew his name, but I never
Joe.
like watched his podcast or listened to it. But let me tell the people what's going on and then we'll get your take on it. So Spotify faces an unprecedented crisis over Joe Rogan's rhetoric on race and COVID-19 that, as we know, in the last couple of weeks, it just has enveloped the company in a controversy, which led to a growing number of recording artists and podcasters abandoning the platform. So the CEO is Daniel Elk, and he addressed Joe Rogan's past use of racial slurs last Sunday. And he told the staff in a memo that he found the comments incredibly hurtful and inconsistent with the company values, but he did not believe in silencing his podcast or the podcaster, which of course we know that Joe Rogan, it was like $100 million deal for Spotify. So of course they're not gonna silence him because he's bringing in so much money for them and he's receiving so much money from them. So Joe Rogan, basically, he vowed last week to do better when discussing matters related to the pandemic, because that's how he initially came under fire, was that he had people on them spreading misinformation when it came to the pandemic. And then it kind of just snowballed into these old episodes coming up with him saying the N-word. It was like a whole compilation where it was literally back to back, like all these times that he said it.
What was the context in what he was saying it though? I felt like he wasn't just saying it to say it, was he?
It was a number of things, but his reasoning was whenever he said it, he was saying it in the context of whatever story he was telling. So if it was like a specific story where they use it in there, he thought it was okay to say because he's just repeating something or telling a story, or repeating lyrics or something like that. But it was like the hard ER, because I listened to the compilation, every time was the hard ER. And then there was one time where he told a story about how he went to see Planet of the Apes in Philly. And he asked the Uber driver, oh yeah, just take us to, a movie theater, The guy was dropping off. They're like, oh, is this a safe neighborhood? He's like, oh yeah, it's fine, whatever. And he said, oh yeah, we walked into the theater and we were in Planet of the Apes. We were in Africa. There's nothing but all these Indians and stuff like that, like talking about black people. So yeah, so it's like, sir, like you can't say like you made a mistake, or you can't say like it wasn't intentional, you were using it within context. Like, why are you saying it to begin with? Like there is no reason why you should be saying this. So he said, Rogan said that whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not a racist, you messed up. And clearly I've messed up here. So he's acknowledging that he's, in a predicament. But my thing is like, you're only apologizing because people are calling you out on it. Had people not called you out on it, you wouldn't acknowledge it, you wouldn't care, you wouldn't think anything of it. So people like India Arie she pulled her music from Spotify, but then I saw a clip a couple hours ago where she's saying that she accepts his apology for saying the N-word and all she wants now is change behavior. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Clearly Spotify's not canceling him, not, taking his podcast off. They're just taking off the episodes that it was any type of pandemic misinformation or any type of, racial slurs on it. But other than that, if the artists want to remove themselves from Spotify, they don't care. Which, I mean, the artists, they make sense, on the dollar when it comes to Spotify Play. So it's not like they're really missing on the money if they leave. But what are your thoughts on Joe?
I'll let you take it away. You seem like you're itching to say something.
Know who this white man was. I thought I mean, I never heard of any of this. This apology was bullshit. He really, that's not an apology. He said, when somebody says you have to say I'm not a racist, that means you messed up.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm sorry. That just means
he said I'm sorry. He actually apologized. And like on another statement he made.
So I have another quote. It said, Rogan said he's not racist and had not used such language in recent years. The most recent one happened like 3 years ago. He admitted in an Instagram video that he acted inappropriately, though he said the videos being spread online took him out of context. But context or not, you should not be saying the word. Like that's what
I mean, low key, I'm gonna be real with you. If white, no, but that's what I'm saying though. If white people are gonna say it, No, I kind of want them to say it with the hard ER. I don't want them using the A and getting too familiar
Say
with it.
with your chest.
Because if you said nigga, that means that you had to practice that. You can't just say that. Like even the first time you say it, like when you're younger, you don't say it correctly. You're like nigger. No, like you have to practice to get to nigga. You got to say it a couple times. I want white people, if they're gonna say that shit, say it with the ER. That's how I want you to say it. That is the only way that you can say the word. I don't want you getting too familiar. Niggas, no, niggers. No, I need you to say all the syllables.
Grandpa.
That's what I want. That's when white people say the N-word. That's what I want them to say. You need to say nigger. That's the only way you can say it. And you better be reading a fucking textbook. Like that's just how I feel about it. But the thing with Joe is that Joe's a comedian first. So I'm sure whatever he was doing, he was trying to be Howard Stern. That's exactly what this sounds like. It sounds like he was trying to be Howard Stern because Joe's been around for forever. He used to stand up. He used to host Fear Factor. Used to be on a show called News Radio. I mean, Joe's been around for a minute. Yes, that was the guy that used to host Fear Factor. That was him. Yes.
Oh no, maybe that's
yeah.
Okay.
And then like
trying to wrap her mind around who this man is.
And then but he brings so many different people on his show. Like Chappelle's been on his show a couple of times. Like I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that come on his show that would not come on his show if he was this crazy racist person that people are trying to paint him out to be. And a lot of things they are taking him are out of context. But you're correct. I mean, him saying crazy stuff
totally
is wild.
disagree with that, Tristan. I'm sorry, I'm not taking nothing out of context. Nope.
I get that, but you got
like 4 clips, and I'm like, bro.
You should see his actual show though. Watch the whole show. You might be impressed.
But for him to get more popularity, I'm good on that.
Right, I'll stick with the read.
I actually never want to say this name again. I'm only fucking with Seth.
Fun fact: he married a woman, right? They've been married for a long time. He adopted her daughter. The woman's black, daughter is, black or whatever. So they've been bringing this up. Fun fact is her dad was the lead singer in H-Town, Not Gonna Boost H-Town, the one that died.
Dino? This one's for Dino?
So Joe Rogan married Dino's ex or widow or whatever. And so he adopted his daughter as his own. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't think that he's out here just this malicious, like he's over here wearing a white hood on the weekends. I just don't think that's Joe. That's just not what the impression I get from him.
But that's the thing, Tristan. Like, I feel like people think in order to be racist, you have to wear the hood on the weekends. No, it's stuff like this as well. It doesn't have to be the extreme KKK toting,
I feel like there's a difference between being racist and being like prejudiced and like being biased. Like those are two different things. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, and I feel like for him, I feel like
he's more prejudiced.
Yeah, I feel like he had some prejudices, and I feel like he had some prejudices inside of him and didn't realize that they were there. Because I feel like there's a lot of white folks that have them, don't even realize that they're there. They're over here talking the way they talk, and then like, have you talked to anybody black? Have you checked on any of this shit? Like, the way.
Right.
Because I feel like if they would have hang out with black people, they would understand. Like, ooh, the way I'm talking is probably not the best. It's probably not it.
Like I said, I've never paid him any mind, so I'm not going to pay him any mind starting from now. I wouldn't care, if his podcast goes away forever. I would not be sad. But my thing is, like, it's an issue with white people because they feel like they shouldn't be denied anything, right? So the fact that we're saying you cannot use this word is disrespectful and offensive to us. They don't understand that because they have always had access to everything. So the fact that they can't have access to this word, they can't be in this exclusive club, it makes them want to say it even more. And they don't get when we call them out like, no, this is wrong. They're like, what? Well, I was used, you took it out of context. It's like, no, good and well, you should not be saying this. Like,
Leslie, I agree 100%.
I mean, for me, it's like this. Like, white people can say it all they want. Say it as much as you want. Say it. Go ahead. Enjoy yourself. Just whatever happens is what happens.
Say that shit in front of Tristan, not the rest of Millennial Masterclass.
Whatever happens is what happens. Whatever happens is what happens. I want you to say it. Go ahead. Enjoy yourself. Because other people are going to see you say it and they're not going to fuck with you no more. And then you're going to be like, damn, why ain't nobody come to my shit? Because they saw what you was doing. They saw what you was doing. Because the thing is that what am I going to do? I'm going to police you all the time when you go home. And that at night, before you go to bed, you over here say it 100 times, keep your teeth white. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just watch you all the fucking time. Like, okay, I'm not doing that. I don't have enough energy in my body to give a fuck about what you're talking about. I just don't care enough. I don't.
You giving me David from the World LA, their reunion special where Tammy was like talking about Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, and David was like, I can't concern myself with that. I'm not worried about that. You know, basically dismissing him being the black man, you know,
That ain't the
essentially
same
representative
thing.
on the show, and he had no thoughts.
That ain't the same thing. That ain't the same thing at all. It ain't. Because I ride for the movement. I just don't give a fuck about stupid ass white people. What does that do for me? What is that? What energy can I give to them? I can't help him change. I can't make him unstupid.
All right, so I sent this story to Sean last week, and so I thought I'd include it in here. So we all know AJ Johnson. She was Tyrese's mom and baby boy, and she actually hosts Life Therapy now on VH1. She was on Angela Yee's podcast, Lip Service, which I feel like Angela has the best sound bites. Like everybody be telling all their craziest stories on her show. But the women were discussing the topic about whether or not threesomes involving one woman and two men would ever be normalized. And so AJ actually surprised the host when she said, I've had that experience.
Is it not normal? I thought it was normal. I thought people just do that all the time.
I have no idea.
I
I have no idea. But she's 58 right now. But she said when she turned 50, she traveled to Paris, I believe it was. And she said, she just met these two guys who were friends and they decided to have this experience. She said, it happened during her 50th birthday. Oh, it was to St. Bart's, 50th birthday trip to St. Bart's. They traded off. They basically took.
Of course they did. Of course, she didn't want to tell everybody that like she got DP'd. She didn't want to tell anybody. It's real.
Well, I think what she was stressing was they were never like directly interacting with each other. They traded off.
So she says. So she says. It's fine.
I mean, hey, they friends. They do, however they define their friendship, I don't know. But she described it as if they were like doing the salsa with two guys at one time. She said it was romantic and sexy, but never like, raunchy or disgusting or anything like that.
She is old, so it's real.
Yeah, so it wasn't St. Bart's.
Young little thing.
And it doesn't say how old the guys were. That I don't know, but they were in St. Bart's, but the two men were from France, so that's where I got that from. They were from France, and so they only spoke French during the whole interaction. And she speaks French, so she was able to understand them and speak it, back to them as well. And she said it was just really romantic. It was sensual, and they ended up going to breakfast the next morning and just like talking like they were old friends. And they decided to do it again that same night. So she had two encounters with these two men.
She's a repeat offender.
I mean,
hey, so mama from baby boy.
I'm not mad at her. She said it was so effortless and so sexy, but sexy not in a sexual way. They were very gentle and treated me like I was a queen. It wasn't freaky. It wasn't like a porn site. It was.
If there were two dudes, it was freaky. I don't understand the problem. She just said a bunch of contradicting bullshit, but that's fine.
I think she means not like raunchy, freaky.
Not like
they weren't being disgusting.
I get it. They didn't run a train on her. I understand.
See, and I think that's the thing. Like, that's why so many women are so afraid to even admit that they've done it or like want to do it, because the whole train aspect. And I'm honestly guilty of it too. I've been thinking the same thing. Like, two niggas is a train, but
no, you get no, because a train is not two cars. You need three.
Exactly, like three or more, right?
Yeah, because a train is not two cars. Well, I've never seen a 2-car train. It gotta be at least three. Got to be at least three people.
Nah, I don't know. I've always thought that. I don't know if it was like programmed in my head since like childhood and shit. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Then it's always that whole, you can have a threesome with two women and one man and that's okay. But two men and now you're such a hoe. And people look at you so differently if you do it with two men. So I don't know, but this whole experience with two Black Frenchmen sounds like it was a good time.
Oh, it was two Black Frenchmen.
They're from France, and it happened in St. Bart's, but they were French, and so they spoke French the entire time.
Yeah, little Black, they probably was fine. And if I turn 50 and somebody give me this opportunity, it sounds like a good time.
Why you gotta wait till 50 though? You about to be 30. What's up?
Well, I'm okay right now.
Listen, I don't judge, so do what you want to do. Like I always hated that double standard of like two women, one man versus one woman, two men. Like I feel like that's such a double standard, so I don't subscribe to that at all. So look, if you like it, I love it.
Okay, see, this is the thing. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You got it.
I was gonna say, really though, I think I would have to be 50 because I want to be more like confident in my sexual being. Right now, I feel like if I had two penises, I would be very overwhelmed. Like,
Maybe you feel different at 35. I just feel like you don't have to wait till 50.
Them keeper things.
I mean, that's when the estrogen levels go up again. So I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
that's
You hit
that's
the
the
peak.
prime. That's the prime right there.
Exactly.
No, see, here's the thing. Okay, so all right, this is why there's a stigmatism on it, right? Okay, so if a dude sees two ladies kiss, he's like, oh my, right? Right. If a lady sees two men kiss, most ladies aren't gonna be like, oh my, they're gonna be like, oh, that's cute. Right? So that's already
I don't know. Are they fine? Not fine with my own.
maybe, but then you see what I'm saying? You had to think about it. Your initial reaction wasn't, ooh,
But
I don't really like to see anybody kiss. Like,
but she said they didn't interact with each other. It was just
right.
So
But what I'm saying is the more the merrier. That's what I'm getting at. It's that more the merrier thing. Because it's like, oh, she bad. Oh, she bad. They should all come along. Oh, they could get together, right? But the thing is that because in your mind, you're thinking everybody's touching each other. So with ladies, it's like, well, I don't necessarily want them to touch for real. But it's whatever it is. Like, I don't judge. If that's what y'all want to do, that's what y'all want to do. That's y'all's business. If you want two poles, girl, get two poles, do your thing. That's your business. Enjoy it. Tell me about it later. Not too much detail, but just enough. But who, it doesn't matter. If there's a stigmatism, that's between you and your homies, bro. But I know dudes that used to get excited with their dudes, and they used to want to go and fuck girls together, as a group. That was their whole shit.
It's so weird to me.
I'll never forget. In fact, I know exactly the person I'm thinking of. I'm not gonna say his name. It's not important. But what is important is that
thank God you stopped with that.
He and his men, maybe it was a group of 5 or 6 of them, right? They were low-key thugs. That was their own declaration. And anyway, they would get a group of 4 or 5 girls, and they would all just do their little thing together. They liked to fuck girls with their partners. That was their shit. That was what. Some dudes like to go play golf together. That was what they like to do. That was their business.
Listen, I'm definitely gonna have to make you sign an NDA one day because somebody's name. You were so close. I'm like, oh.
I was not gonna say his name. Absolutely not. I don't need his daughter to hear this one day and be like, "What the hell?"
Too many clues.
That's no clues. That's 1 million people. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness!
If you can figure out who it was by that, you are damn good. You need to be in the CIA, NSA. Somebody's government needs to tie you up, okay? Immediately. You can figure that out. That's fucking impressive. But
go ahead.
At the end of the day, but yeah, what does it matter? That's what you want to do, and that's what y'all got off, and there's not a bunch of video evidence circulating around it. You're good money. That's all that's really important.
All I'm saying is I'll subscribe to 2 men before I subscribe to another woman because I'm not attracted to women like that, so I can't see myself interacting like that. So sign me up for the AJ camp. What's up?
I mean, I could use a cameraman. I wouldn't mind if some dude just go sit there and be the cameraman. I appreciate that.
Somebody got to talk about being a cameraman.
Somebody got to hold the camera.
That's not what this conversation is.
You just said recording. No video evidence. Isn't that the last sentence you just said?
Yeah, this is different. I want the evidence. I want the video.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
It's different.
Well, we're gonna park it right there. That's all I got for y'all. So I'm gonna just keep my ears to the street and report back next week.
Do you go for so when you're having these rough patches, right? And you need an outlet, do you think that music or poetry is your number one outlet?
I think that it's a good part of it. I realize now I write a lot more than I thought, which sounds funny because it's different than just writing a song or writing a poem because there's a lot of intention or it comes from a specific feeling or emotion, right?
I see you with your prolific ass.
Yeah, which I try to do. Whatever. But when I try to journal more often to where I'll write about what happened during the day, or I'll write to get a feeling or a thought out of my head. There's a lot of times where I try to dump it on the page. So yeah, absolutely. Me writing in general, if I show you how many freaking journals I have, it definitely helps. My phone, I easily have 900 notes on my phone right now because sometimes it helps writing it and getting it out of my head.
Right.
Because I always have been up and we can't sleep because something's on loop in our head. But if you write it, and definitely, reading more helps. Like writing helps to get something out of your head. Reading helps inspiring you or to help you be more creative. So even though I don't read as much, I try to listen to audiobooks. I try to listen to podcasts. You know, and
like
that
this
helps
one. Shout out to Millennial Masterclass. That's
pour
us.
back into me. Yeah.
I felt the shameless plug. Thanks. That felt good.
I'll do it for you.
So do you think that you would prefer to pursue a career in music, or would you like to remain being in the classroom?
So this is a tough question for me because this is what I've been.
Good.
Nigga, that's why we ask these questions. Tough
I appreciate
questions
it.
here.
Tough ones.
Or any other
Yeah.
career path, whether or not music or teaching. Could be
Yeah, a
social
stripper,
media.
whatever.
Anyone.
You know, it's cool.
So
You look
originally,
like you could have been a stripper. I can
Yeah,
see
we want to
that.
see those
What?
lock swings.
I ain't
We
gonna
wanna see
lie.
'em. We
That's
wanna see those
hella
lock
random.
You don't
That's
think so,
hella
bro? If Josh came out and like, what if you do like the little wet hair thing?
I'm
Like,
so mad.
Oh, bye.
I'm so
He said,
mad.
Good long bye.
damn, gosh, Tristan, you know it.
No man.
I'm so mad because one of my friends joked. I thought I had like some Middle Eastern somewhere, but I don't. But they're like, "Oh, your stripper name would be Turkish Delight." I'm like, I'm so mad you came up with this so quick. Why'd you come up with this name so quick?
Oh, he said, man, from the Grand Bazaar of Istanbul, baby. You gonna see?
I would give you like
Wild.
Tarzan, because you know Tarzan had them kind of locks or whatever.
No,
They
we-
gave
You
Tarzan
giving a
locks.
good Tarzan,
Y'all will not.
bro.
Y'all will
Listen.
not give me a background and dance routine.
All right, listen. Make yourself.
Bro, if you
want to
swing from a vine, we're
Y'all
gonna
know
let you
I'm
do it.
down bad.
We're gonna let you do it.
put your
Y'all
head
know I'm
in the
down bad.
bathtub and get your locks wet, and then you do a little flip so that you just see the water
That
come
might-
off.
that
Job and
pop his
become
neck.
stripper, like.
Locks are heavy when they're wet and long, so that might hurt his neck. You know,
But
if he moves too
It's,
fast.
it's for the money, man.
I'll keep that in mind.
You
If
paying
all
him,
else
you said-
fails,
Like other job opportunities or avenues.
He got a
So-
fallback plan.
Besides
I-
stripping.
I actually recently got connected with Connecticut College here through like a fellowship, and I'm working with their art department. And it's really interesting being an engineer in the art field because it's such a different purpose, you know? So when I thought about other things I wanted to do, I always wanted to be a professor. I always wanted to teach in college. But now that I've gone through like my engineering career, I see that I'm maybe not the most technical engineer, but if I did work in a college, I would definitely want to help with like college transition. I always wanted to help the retention of Black men in engineers. So me working with NSBE, shout out to National Society of Black Engineers, me starting up Trust at Howard, which is a organization that retains young Black men in STEM. I would love to do that, you know. Helping out with poetry. I've been able to teach poetry since I've been up here. And there's some days where I'm not gonna lie, there's some days I'm like, yeah, I could teach you engineering, but if I could teach you how to like write out your emotions, and definitely as like a young Black man, if I can teach you to be more in tune with your emotions and how to express yourself without being frustrated, angry, or mad, like that's gonna serve you so much more in the long term. So even my engineering classes, I'm teaching more soft skills, presentations, communication than I am technical skills. Because if you can't talk this, if you can't present it and have a conversation, you could be book smart, but they're gonna put you in that corner, you know?
Right.
So now I'm looking to transition into the arts. Like I've been doing that for the past couple of years. I know I always will help out in the technical side of engineering, but I feel like there's a big sense of purpose I would find if I was able to teach poetry or able to work in the arts in helping, young men communicate and get more in touch with their feelings. I feel like that's a big part of what I should be doing.
I love that.
That actually
Beautiful,
brings
bro.
me to my next point. So apparently I heard that you just became a London Poet Laureate. I don't even know that word. I kept saying Leslie. Is that the word Laureate? What is the word?
There's a poet laureate.
Laureate.
Look,
I'm
I didn't know what
damn,
the
I
word
know
was.
that's an
either.
accomplishment, but I don't know how to say that word. And I kept practicing over and over. I still got it.
Is the official title, you're the new London Poet Laureate, correct?
Yes, and I didn't know
There
what
we
it
go.
was.
I said that. That's what I said.
No, you
Look.
didn't.
if it makes you feel better, I'm a huge nerd. All right, look, Naruto has a move called like a laureate. So I always joke like I was like, oh, so that's no, it's nothing like that at all.
I don't even know what you're talking about. No idea what you're
Well
talking about.
seen, and I'm gonna forget her name.
Before yesterday, this is the first time I seen that word. I was like,
But Goldman, she gave the speech for the inauguration, for the presidential inauguration.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
So she
Amanda
is,
Gorman, yeah.
Amanda Gorman, yes.
Mhm.
She is the, youth poet laureate, like the official for the United States. And then there's, which I had no idea, right? There's poet laureates for the United States, for the state, and for the cities.
Yes, indeed.
So,
You
I
got an award for the.
So you're for New London. So what does that encompass? That
So that's the county of New London. So if you're looking at Connecticut is all of like, it's so small. But like the southeastern county, New London, it's like that corner. That's where I am the New London Poet Laureate. For those that don't know, I could speak at high school graduations. I could speak at ribbon cuttings. I could speak at police inaugurations, which I have a funny story about that.
I want to speak at a ribbon cutting. That's nice.
I kind of want to hear about this
But,
police
yeah.
inauguration.
I want to hear about the
Key.
police inauguration. Go ahead.
So basically a lot of people did not like what I had to share because
Yikes.
one,
Police
they'll
brutality.
reach out. And a lot of times people say this, they'll reach out and ask you to come speak. Come speak for Juneteenth, come speak for this event. We want you to come share some words. And for the most part, they don't tell you what to say. They'll just ask you like a general, share some uplifting words. Now, as a middle-aged Black man in America, you asking me to come speak at the police inauguration,
Come on
I'm a
now.
little conflicted, and definitely with the things going on in the city and everything. So what happened was I wrote a piece specifically from the perspective of one of my students. And from all the things I've heard, I had a student that missed class because he went to court. Turned out they had the wrong kid because they mixed him up with another kid.
Wow.
I had, a bunch of stuff happening. And I wrote it from a student getting his license. And it went from, yo, congrats on getting your license, to don't be driving too fast. You're not supposed to have people in your car. They're gonna pull you over. Like I ran down this whole thing. I was like, I can't even be excited for my student having his license. So I wrote that speech and I said it from that standpoint. And people was mad, boy. People
Man, fuck
were
them.
like,
That sounds like a
you're
beautiful
supposed
piece.
you should say this at a Black Lives Matter protest. This is not the right
You
time.
want to talk about black shit at black protests?
This is the
Wow.
wrong time or place. But it showed me like this position is going to be what you make it. Because I could give a nice, soft, happy speech,
Sugar-coated.
or I could give you a little dose of reality of how the city feels. So when people ask me, about the position, it's really what you make it. Because you can come speak some truth, or you can, easily go along and just share some kind words.
Mhm.
So I mean, it showed me, but it's also like kind of give me some recognition where I'm like, oh, it's been a couple months since that happened, and y'all still talking about it. I'm doing something right. So
Mhm.
Lasting words,
makes-
man.
Hey,
If you
I'm
would like to
like,
share that poem, we'd like to hear it. It don't have to be today. You could just give
Let 'em
us like a
know.
thing. We'll post it on the page somewhere.
I got you. I definitely will share that.
Yeah.
I'm
we can get a
like,
separate video
damn, there was
going.
just so much for us to unpack in that moment. Because I'm still thinking, damn, I kind of want to hear the poem. I want to hear what you said. There is just a lot of different emotions going on right now.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And you bring yourself, like all of you have a story that you guys can tell from your experiences, outside of police, just as a person of color. So when we do take these positions that we are able to share, our stories, I think it's also our duty to share our story, truthfully. Like
Right.
you can't be upset at us sharing our truths and our story. You should be upset about how it happened and how it played out. But you know how that goes.
That's immediately what my first thought was when you said that when you were performing that people, or you were doing your poetry, that this is not the right time or place. Like that's immediately what I thought. Like
To tell our
what do you
truth.
mean? Yeah,
It's
I can
like,
tell my
it's-
truth forever.
It's the truth. What you want me to do?
Just because you don't think it's pretty, and how you see it,
Yeah,
doesn't make it less important, and that it's not the truth. Like
And you asked a black man to
Right, but
speak
it's-
at a policeman's ball, and you knew.
Bro,
You just had
what
to
the
know.
hell
Read
was
the
you
room.
thinking?
Like,
Yeah,
you
what
asked
was you
me
thinking?
to come here. And like,
You should be happy I didn't come up here and say fuck y'all and then walk off the stage.
Look,
Like-
start
Or a
rapping
shirt that said
NWA.
fuck 12. So y'all better be happy.
That's what I'm
Look,
saying.
you got to understand, this is where people I go to these events, I'm with these kids, like I'm trying to amplify their voices. So really you're more so upset about me saying it than about
Right.
how
Yeah.
everyone else feels about it.
Like the fact that it
funny.
exists don't bother you, but the fact that I said it is what bothers you.
That's
part.
right.
Mm.
See,
Terrible.
insanity.
That brings up another point of talking about, your artistry, you and the arts. I want to hear about, and I think everyone wants to hear about the people, want to hear about your music.
Oh yeah.
So can
so
you
it's-
tell us about your new album, about what's going on in the music world?
so
First
it's
off, tell
like-
these people who you are in the music world. Don't
So
just
your
like come into the
name.
shit subtle.
Shit.
Don't
Get on
tiptoe in
after
this
that.
motherfucker. Come in with heavy ass boots. Tell them what it is. Put the Tim's on.
So
Tell
for
us
those
what's up.
that do not know, my name is Josh. I go by an urban nerd, all one word, like a Tribe Called Quest or a pimp named Slickback. So, with that, I've been doing this for a minute. Honestly, Tristan knows. I will bust into a freestyle easy. I definitely was on what's it called? Douglas Steps, spitting poetry and lyrics. You could have caught me in Drew, what's it called, Poetry Night, spitting
I'm
what you
quite
thought was a
aware.
poem. It really was my song without the instrumental. So like for a long time, I've just always been rapping with my friends. So now, so when people are like, oh, some people don't even know me as Josh, they'll be like, oh, nerd, what's up? Like, oh, this is urban nerd. It trips me out sometimes, but it is it's one testament to like really how much work I've been putting in. So yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been recording as much new music. But one thing that I was like super geeked about was I was able to perform in New Haven at the Arts and Ideas Festival. So like we
You
talking
performed
about
in Pistol
legit
Waving?
stage. Yo,
Is that what
legit.
they call it?
Pistol
What'd you
Waving New
say?
Haven. Pistol Waving New Haven. Oh yeah.
Look, that's what they call
It's
it.
like that?
Yeah,
203,
look.
man. 203.
Connecticut got black folk too.
I didn't know.
I know
But
that
yeah,
either.
no. I got to perform at the festival. We had like some dope people performing, dancing, headlining. And that was when I knew like, all right, I'm doing something right. Like I can come in as the poet laureate. I can give y'all some poetry. I can go right into my music and, to have people rocking. And it was raining. So I had like people out in the rain rocking with me. I was like, I'm doing
that's
something
dope.
right. So, I've got 2 EPs out. I'm working on now. Instead of like coming up with a new EP, I want to do some more live music, as Tristan would tell you. Ain't nothing like live performances. Because Tristan be over here singing. I said, if you say karaoke 3 times in the mirror, Tristan's going to
Facts.
I might
That's the
appear.
truth.
You might see me.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a live music EP where I just do some of my songs. But
Okay, James
live
Brown.
musician.
All right now.
Look.
Damn, I'm out of the loop. I'm like, is that James Brown thing?
Well, James Brown was one of the first. He wasn't the first to do a live album, but the thing is that he was the first to have a really successful commercial black music live album. Like the Lev James Brown album is one of like the most purchased vinyls in like the history of like purchased vinyls. It's crazy. He did it. I want to say at the Apollo is where he taped it, and that actually was. It was at the Apollo. That was where they taped it, and yeah, it was recorded it
But
rather.
songs was like 10 minutes long each.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. I just got the best idea, y'all. So sometime this year, we need to do a live podcast show, right? Josh gonna perform. He gonna open the show for us. He gonna do our intermission, and he gonna close the show out. I'm telling you.
Down for it.
Come
All I'm
on.
saying
Relax.
is,
It's done. It's done. That's
I
a
love
thing. That's easy.
now that we don't put the pressure on them while we
Oh
recording.
no, I love the pressure. I love the pressure.
Just keep in mind, this is a recording. So if you try to read
Why did you just morph from like J. Cole back to a teacher in just like 5 seconds? Like what just occurred? He took his glasses off. He became Cole real quick. He said, "Oh yes, absolutely." He said, "Excuse me." Yes, now you were saying.
I work with teenagers all day. nothing scared me. What you mean?
Hey, I said, he ready. What's up? What's up? Ain't
That's
we
true, but
thinking?
working with teenagers is probably the worst like group of people to work with. I'm not lying to you. You know, I was like
No.
a substitute, and I also worked
You
as
know.
a college success coach and like working with kids.
Yeah, you had some crazy stories, Shauna. I still remember the baby in the toilet story. I will never forget that story.
He had a baby. Oh my God. Long story short, one day we're all at the fucking school. The nurse comes running in to the where my office was. So my office was right next to the nurse's office, right? She like, you know, the ambulance about to come, da da da. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. A couple minutes later, ambulance come through. They're coming through where I work, like, and they pass my office, the paramedics or whatever. Apparently, a girl had a baby in the bathroom.
I mean, like gave birth?
Yes.
Gave
Yes.
birth.
The fuck?
Bro,
I
you want to know
forgot
the
about that
craziest,
story,
the
Shauna.
craziest part of this fucking story, bro? So she calls her dad right before she gave birth, like, Dad, can you pick me up from school? I'm not feeling well. The dad's like, all right, cool. Then the girl has a fucking baby. So the dad gets to the school and he's like, hey, I'm looking for my daughter. They're like, oh, her and the baby are cool. And he's like, what baby? He didn't
know
know
she was pregnant?
For
Ow,
No.
Sway?
No.
So she hid that joint.
She
from
was
you.
super skinny and she
What?
just used to wear big shirts and shit. Like, I saw the girl. I ain't really know she was pregnant, but I live with her. So I know. But her dad is like, so I have to go, what? Like, it was crazy. So he starts going off and shit. Bro,
I will
Yeah.
never forget that story. She told it in the VP group years
I
ago.
definitely told y'all
The-
when that
the
shit
only
happened.
story
This was when
that
you
is-
worked in, was it, no, where was you working?
Montgomery County.
Montgomery, that's what I thought, Montgomery
Yeah.
County.
Moco
yeah.
Codus happened.
I was
Oh
in
my
Moco.
God.
I don't even remember the name of the school, but I was in Moco.
All I know is that one story where that girl came into class and she was like, excuse me, you a bitch. And then she like walked away. That might have been the funniest story I have ever heard in my life inside of school. Like, that was the funniest fucking story.
Baby,
She was,
wow.
Crazy as shit.
she was
Like,
real
what
proper
y'all
with it.
just
She
talking
said,
about?
excuse me, Miss Armstrong, excuse me, just want to smoke.
Yeah.
You a bitch. And then
What
walked
did you
away.
do, Shauna?
It wasn't to her, it was to another student, right?
Oh, I
No,
was
it
Yeah.
wasn't to
like,
me. But even if it was to me, I wouldn't have just looked at it like, maybe. I don't know.
Sometimes you gotta think, you like, cool out.
Right.
Hold on, I
into
would be like,
Like,
Because you gonna go
I
to
was
jail
just
if
sit
you do.
down. And then that was it.
I laughed about that story.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
To this
I
day.
gotta act like I'm gonna say something.
Do you have any
Mom,
wild
please
stories
on,
like
and I'm
that,
gonna let
Josh?
you sit your fucking ass down.
Oh, yeah.
I usually work with hood kids, so I can cuss at them and they don't be mad around, you know.
Yeah.
But what gets me though, and me and Shauna talked about this before too. What gets me is that it's like kids don't like, you try to connect with them, you try to do all these things. They don't care about that. But it's like the day that I'm like, I embarrass you or I go in on you, the next day you're like, Mr. Brown, you know that we cool. I'm
They
like, is this-
respect you.
I had a student, you know,
Your
I
ass. Yeah.
ain't proud of myself.
Ah, shit, what you do?
The student was getting on my nerves, and you know, I got the jokes loaded, like they on my hip. I'm ready. So I
As
never
you should.
pull it.
As you should.
Wait, I love this disclaimer. So this means you said something fucked up. Go
So
ahead.
I pointed out, I made an observation, you know.
An observation.
Them dirty ass sneakers. Go ahead.
And look again, I made an observation because she was the same like that, cussing me out, talking about me for the whole class. And I'm just like, yo, like, what is going on? I
You
made
had
one
to, I would have did the same
observation,
thing, bro.
quiet for the rest of the day, right? Next day was Teacher Appreciation Day. Here she comes with a card. Mr. Brown, you know you're my favorite teacher. I'm like, is this what I have to do? Like, do I have to like go on you? Like,
I
for
just had
you?
to embarrass you for me to be your favorite. Fuck
Right.
And
you.
it's like, again, it's not even like I'm gunning for you, calling me every word, name in the book. And then when I point out one thing, oh, all right.
I mean,
that
What
was
was
it's
the one thing,
kinda-
Josh? Tell us, Josh.
But it's
No,
the
I'm gonna tell you-
wild
I'm
though.
gonna tell you
It's
this
the
one instead.
wild.
I'm not gonna
It's-
tell you
You
that
called
one.
her fat or something? What you
Nah,
do?
I'm gonna tell you the other one. The other one that caught me off that was funny too is I had one student who he had gotten like he went from freshman to sophomore year. He looked like a grown man. Like we were trying to tell him that too. Like, look, you go outside, like they don't know that you 15. Like you gotta calm down,
These
right?
kids be big as shit.
So-
It's like Similac or something.
So he always wilding out sometimes. And sometimes you say stuff you don't realize. One of the funniest stories because I felt bad. But it was around the time that everybody was saying D's nuts, right?
They still
So
say
here
that.
this
Nothing
student
has
come.
changed. Nothing has changed.
Here this student come. This, that, these nuts. This, that, these nuts. And I'm so, at this point, I'm done. I'm like, I'm sick and tired of this. I turn around and I'm like, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna tell your mama about these nuts. And I was like,
Oh,
that's
shit.
not what I meant. I was like, that's not what I meant.
Oh shit.
Whole class
Yo.
dying, laughing.
He's
That
like,
was good.
Oh, Mr. Brown.
that's not what I meant. Oh, whatever.
That was
whatever.
good.
Thanks, guys.
That
Thanks.
was so good.
That's not what I
would have
meant.
been
It
That was
screaming
good.
I was
laughing.
thinking like too
Okay.
late. Whole class lost it. Class rolling on the ground and everything.
No,
Yo,
Those
I'm talking
guys
about
was
fall out of your
awesome.
chair to start cracking the fuck up. Like,
no, I'm gonna tell y'all one. So my grandmother was a teacher for like almost 30 years, right? So like when she retired, she would work in the summertime and she would kind of do part-time stuff. So I would go with her a lot of times, especially when I would hang with her during the summer. So there was this one kid, he was a heavier set kid, and he would always get 2 milks at lunch, right? Now, you know, Black people lactose intolerant. You know this. So you know that if you have 2 milks, nigga, you about to be gassy. You know this, like it's a whole thing, right? So now I gotta get through it. So these are like 6th graders, right? So now you know it's a real wild, savage place. This is Chicago Heights, Illinois.
they are
So like this is
dirty
a
people,
wild,
too.
this is a wild place, first off. So
Middle
just keep
school
that
is
in
dirty.
mind. And so now they're in class, right? She's doing her thing, right? I think I'm maybe filing papers or something for her, whatever. And then all of a sudden he lets one rip, right? And it's like the shit is wet, like it's a wet one. Like it's like it almost like it felt like it could have been a shark. So my grandmother says, she said, "Oh my God, baby, are you sure you're okay? You might need to check yourself." She says this. The clown goes crazy. The class is laughing. He's so embarrassed, and she meant it from the back goodness of her heart. She really thought he needed to change his
Because he
drawers.
did need.
But that's
Yeah,
why
he
she
did. He
said-
had a little
she was
poop
like,
up in there.
"Baby, you need to check yourself. I think you might need to change your drawers." And I couldn't stop. I was on the ground, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Tristan, it's your laugh that makes it like 10 times funnier. Like,
It was
you
so
are
funny.
genuinely tickled.
To this day,
She's
to this
sincere.
day.
She was so sincere when she said that
She
too.
was,
She
but the
and the
crowd,
grandma.
the kids don't care. The kids fucking laughed. It was like, "Oh, wet booty ass boy." They was going.
Oh, no.
It was amazing. It was amazing to this day.
Oh my
Oh,
You
God.
think he
Got a
still
big
remember
name for the
that?
rest
Because
of
I
the
probably would be
year.
like, yeah, I remember
That's
when
gonna
I
stick
was in
with you.
6th
Oh,
grade.
my
I
God.
remember that shit.
That's gonna stick
Wait,
with you.
why was you drinking 2 milks? You knew better. You knew
I
better.
remember like milk.
He had
You
the
chose
milk, the
violence that
cheese
day.
string. He had all the dairy.
God,
Yo,
it was just too funny. I'm
That
sorry.
literally.
But we can move on. That was funny. I'm sorry. Had to share.
Booty farts.
Yeah,
Oh,
appreciate that. Nice visual.
It's on you, Tristan. We're moving on. Still on you. No more wet booties. So go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough. So, bro, talk to us a little bit. So, you've shared with us your journey. You've shared with us about being a teacher. You shared with us being a new poet laureate, about your music. But like, man, what's the ultimate goal? Because I mean, honestly, bro, we bop to your tunes. You know, I downloaded your shit immediately. As soon as it's on Tidal, I knew you was for real. So I was like, oh well, I got to get it now. It's on Tidal. So you know, we're there, bro. So like, where do you see it taking you, man?
That's like, the same, like I just said, I've always wanted to work in academia. I like that there's a academia is such a unique place where we know tenured professors that should not have been there, but it was almost like they had, they were impervious
got one
and
for
kind
that.
of like response, right? We know a bunch of them, but
We know them.
it also gives you like that a unique space to practice your trade, and you could do like research and things in the background, So other poet laureates that I've been blessed to get to know, they've like, one told me, he's like, yo, go back and get your degree, your master's in English, get your master's in this. So that's kind of also in the back of my mind, like as a possibility. I knew when I first started teaching, I met a professor who teaches hip hop, but he had a background in science, and he moved into academia, starting to teach hip hop. And so now I'm kind of like open to what opens up, you know. I'm always going to want to teach. I'm always going to want to help with engineering. I'm always going to want to help with poetry. And now I'm looking at, you know, what does that look like on a broader scale? Right now, I'm working with Poetry Out Loud, which is like a nationwide competition where students will recite poetry and they'll compete. So I'm actually a teaching artist where I can like help teach them poetry, performing poetry, and also give them a little glimpse of what it looks like to merge the two with music and poetry. And like I said, that's always dope to be learning from, you know, young artists, to get connected with the older artists and just be working on improving and getting better. I recently got to do visual art for the first time. I'm gonna grab this piece real quick because that was pretty dope.
Oh shit, show and tell. We love that.
We do love show and tell.
Let's
kinda-
see.
it's kinda
I
big,
think I've
though,
seen
so-
this on Instagram, but I still want to see it again.
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I'm not gonna lie, this joint had me crazy for about like 3 weeks straight because I was like, these are all individually cut out, different magazines. A bunch of Ebony magazines went to this. But
Shout out to Ebony.
Shout out to
between
Ebony.
that,
Yeah.
We love
Yeah.
Ebony.
I was
Okay.
able to blend in some like engineering books and everything too. So being open to like visual art and knowing that I could possibly do that too, that kind of also confirmed. I'm like, all right, so I'm supposed to be doing something artsy. Like,
Yeah.
there's space for me to explore more of this. So you know, at the end of the day, one of my close friends always says like, do the most with your life. He's like, do it all. You can do everything. Like, stop limiting yourself to one thing. So
that.
if I'm able to end up in an art space and I'm able to also still, you know, feed that technical side, I think that that's really ultimately what's going to be keeping me driven, you know?
So are we gonna see
dope.
you as a tenured professor somewhere like at Harvard, but then like you have like a charted book of poetry like on the bestsellers
yeah.
time list, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
at the same
And the song
time
he
like
pulled with J. Cole.
like exactly. Then you got a video with J. Cole and Music
Hey,
Soul Child,
Acting
you know,
normal.
and then
Why
like
not?
it's then before now, you know, it's dope.
Why not?
Why not? Who
I-
says you
the-
can't do it all?
The
Simultaneously.
day, because I always keep things compartmentalized, right? So the day that my students found my Spotify, Lord, they went crazy.
For
Oh,
real?
Mr. Brown, is this you? Oh, snap, oh, snap. So I'm like, oh, Lord. Play the song, play the
Kids
song.
be so fucking annoying.
That's
So
like
annoying.
Easter off of Insecure when they found the
Broken
song on
pussy.
YouTube. Yeah,
Broken
Literally.
pussy.
yeah.
Literally.
That's really
to the
how kids
point-
act. That's why my social medias have never been my whole name, because kids look your ass up.
So to the point where my students were trying to play something and I was like, nah, you're not playing this. But I had one student who was like, that was all right. I'm like, all right, well, damn, okay. Like,
You do better. Like,
over
You
here,
should have
critics over
told that
here.
nigga we want freestyle.
right.
Then I had another
Challenge.
student. I was like, you know what? I got y'all. I'm gonna record myself doing a song. So I recorded myself. I recorded myself making the song and recording it, and then I was able to share that with them. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a dope class because now it's like, well, let me turn this into a lesson.
Mhm.
Like, hey, this is something that you could possibly do. This is my lyrics. This is me by recording it. I just messed up. I'm gonna go through it again. And then also for me to do that in like a 30-minute timeline, it's kind of a flex to be like, oh, that's the only version I need because I'm done. And that's
Hey.
already out. And here's the final
That's
song.
how we do it, us rappers.
Okay.
You
I
and
like
I.
love that.
Yeah,
I'm
hold
sorry,
it down.
Sean. I
Hold it
didn't
down.
catch that last thing you said.
Nothing, I let it go.
Okay, all right.
she
I'm just
said.
all right. Just sometimes I don't be hearing everything. It's
We're
whatever.
gonna hear it on the playback. It's okay.
That's okay. So now today we started with a game, and honestly, we're gonna almost end with one. And so, due to licensing issues, I saw this game and I loved it. So we have to call it by a different name, and so it's called Grade the Rhymes. It's called Grade the
Okay.
Rhymes.
Okay.
There may be
okay.
another
I got you.
game by another name, but this is called Grade the Rhymes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some lyrics into a chat, and you're going to give them between 1 to 3 stars. Well, between up to 5 stars is what you'll
Gotcha.
give them.
Five being the
And
best, one being the worst.
correct, yes. And you can give negative stars if you like. I don't think it's necessary, but you might need to because maybe this shit is trash to you. And I can't, and I get it. and I totally
Are we
get it.
all doing this, or this is just
No.
Josh?
This is just for Josh, and he's just gonna read them out
Okay.
loud to us. And at the end, if you do know the artist and the name of the song, please tell us. But I will let everybody. I'll put them on the screen for everybody, like words wise, so they'll be
Okay.
able to see them. But
Okay.
yeah, so I'm dropping it in the chat for you right now. This is the first one, and there you are, sir. Please go. So read it out loud for everybody, and then I'll just go ahead and rate those.
I almost want to read it like Tristan, but I'm not gonna. I can't do a great job like that, so I'm gonna just read them. So, but stay true,
Yeah, I don't know
sipping
what this is.
22s off brew, and now media is trying to test me. Got the press asking questions, trying to stress me. Misery is all I see. That's my mind state. My history with the police will shake the crime rate. My main man had 2 strikes, slipped, got arrested and flipped. He screamed thug life and emptied the clip. Come on now. Got tired of running from the police. So number one, this got to be Tupac.
It is Pac. It is Pac.
This is the thing. Reading it is trippy because it has a bounce. That's why I knew also it was Pac, because he always got a bounce with it. It's real. It's always funny too, because he definitely has a poetic joint. Oh man. Well, the thing about this is it's simple. So I almost wasn't with it at first, but then the rhythm got me, and I was like, yeah, I'll give you this. So I'm gonna give this joint a 5 out of 5 because the storytelling and the rhythm got me.
Okay.
Because when you can tie in the storytelling and the rhythm, it's like you got me nodding, and you telling this crazy story. Like I gotta give that too.
And I forget that this is an audio for
He's a
just some
winner, for
people. So
sure.
let me tell people what this is. The verse he just read is the last verse in from the movie Tupac Resurrection. This song is called Running, Dying to Live, and it has Biggie on the first half and then Tupac on the second. So check that out. It's actually a reworking of one of Tupac's other songs. So if you want more history, DM me, we can talk about it. And we're going to give the next verse right now. Now, this one, I don't know that you're going to know
That is fine.
whose verse this is, but we should have some fun with it. Should be a good time.
I love it because it could be deep or ratchet as hell. I love it. Go ahead.
You should let me pick a
Knowing
verse.
Tristan,
I hope it's ratchet.
knowing Tristan, it could be
wait,
either
what?
one.
I don't see the word
Oh
kick.
Lord.
The word I saw was kick.
It's the ratchet route.
Hold on. So, look in the mirror. I'm madly in love, rubbing some doves on a bitch in the tub. Yo, nigga, suck it like a Capri Sun. Tell him come pick up after school. I'm trying to hammer that dick a screw. Trying to give you something you can chew. True. I'm trying to give you that M and that ooh. I got the moves like a damn kangaroo, foot in the ass, cause these bitches my shoes. So I mean, look,
Poetic.
number one,
Damn, I
still got a
know that
rhythm,
song though. That's fucked up.
still got a bounce, right? Got a lot of metaphors, a lot of similes that we throwing in. Something about Capri Sun bring you back to your childhood. But it's talking about sucking it like a Capri Sun. So I'm a little conflicted with that. I mean, look, it got me bouncing.
Lord.
Lyrically though, I probably got to give this about like I'll give this 2 out of 5 because it has the bounce and the rhythm.
Respect.
It has some metaphors. I'm sure I delivered it differently. But now I gotta know who's this.
So you didn't
Look
like,
in the mirror,
trying
I'm
to
madly
hammer
in
that
love.
dick
Rubbing
like
some
the
doves like a
screw?
bitch in the tub. Yo, nigga suck it like a pre-sun. Tell him come pick me up. I'm trying to hammer that dick like a screw. Trying to give you that something to chew. Megan Thee Stallion, that is cocky as fuck.
I
That
got
is.
you.
Oh,
I got moves like a damn
wow.
kangaroo.
I would not have guessed me.
Respect
Cocky
to
as
Meg.
fuck, and I
ain't
know
got
that I
nothing
needed
against
them
Meg,
niggas when you
but I've heard
What song is this?
harder bars. From
cocky
Meg.
as fuck. Cocky as
I've
fuck.
Cocky as fuck,
heard-
everything about me cocky. That's my gym song.
Now,
Yes, it is.
look,
It's actually on my gym
look.
playlist as well. It's a good one.
Gym
when they ask these
song.
bitches my shoes, that's a bar. I'll give her that.
Mhm.
one.
Honestly, the only reason I chose this was because of the kangaroo line. I was like, who talk about I got moves like a damn kangaroo? Who says
I
that?
know.
Who
It
says
was-
that?
it
You
was-
know them
I-
kangaroos be fighting, child. They-
Okay.
shit.
I've heard harder bars from Meg.
Yeah, I ain't trying to fight
Right.
no kangaroo.
That's all I was like, this
So,
Meg? I've
We
heard
do
that.
have 2 more for you here. We're gonna use this one next. Might as well go in order, why not?
You should have let me pick. I'd have put some Pretty Ricky in there.
I know you would have.
already
That's just
know.
why I didn't let you pick. That was exactly
Yes,
why.
sir.
I knew exactly what you would have
I
picked.
got
That's exactly
blue
why.
on my
Yes.
ride.
As you see,
Yes,
I didn't put
sir.
no Pretty Ricky songs earlier so you could have the advantage. No, I gave you slow motion.
I'm
That
not
was
saying
for
you gave me
you.
slow motion.
That was for you.
You right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You know,
And we have our next one now.
I gotta zoom up, man.
Again, it could be anything. All right. Use your head, don't be dumb. Use your head, don't be dumb. Bringing it back with the murderous flow. And I've been wondering, anybody know? Use your common sense like resurrection. Yes, that is for sure. I've been speaking in code this whole verse. Lyrics dispersed like MF Doom, then hit them in reverse. My curse is this blood I spill. Metaphorically, I kill. Yes, that's for real. Can we all keep it trill? All right, this is very interesting because now I'm trying to see. He
What
said
the
MF
fuck
Doom.
is this? Is
He
this
said MF
fabulous?
Doom. So he could be New
Fabulous.
York. It had a real bounce to it. I know it's funny because I don't know off rip. I like this, but it also threw me off. But once he said MF Doom, I was like, oh, that's why. MF Doom has a real crazy, simple,
Oh, that's a
complicated
thing.
rhyme scheme where he'll have the rhymes within the rhyme and it's off beat and it frustrates the shit out of you. But you're like, but why is this still dope?
MF Doom, bro.
Yeah, that's MF Doom in a rap. I'm gonna have to say a 4 out of 5 because it's always like I know
That's a high number for these basic ass rap.
Well, the thing about it is that, well, we'll get into it in just a moment. But like MF Doom, I'm glad that you brought that up. MF Doom is probably one of the most skilled like rappers like to ever do it. Now he's passed on recently, I think some type of heart defect or something. But yeah, just like last year, was it 2020, 2021? Like a couple years ago now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
this
Halloween.
is
Surprised
Halloween
Leslie
last
didn't
year.
put it on the list. Oh my
but
God.
this is Logic actually. This is actually a verse that he featured on Snow Allegra's song Sometimes.
Got you.
So yeah, you know, Montgomery's own Logic. Montgomery County,
okay,
excuse me, Montgomery
okay.
County. Yeah. Because he's from
I
Gaithersburg.
almost,
Wait, this was
almost-
Logic?
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
You said what?
What?
He half black.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
He used
Yes,
to
ma'am.
make a lot of songs about being biracial and
He
like,
still does, yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
still
know, I used to work in Moco, so they
Yeah.
was like they liked him.
Yeah, he's from Gaithersburg. Straight up.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, I'm telling you, this joint also knowing now that you said Logic, this is rapid.
You're gonna hear it differently, exactly. Yeah.
Rapid
Use your
fire.
head, don't be dumb. Use your head,
So it
don't be
almost
dumb.
was 3 out of 5, but like I got into the rhythm and I was like, okay, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I got you. Respect.
And see, I
Respect
knew that
Logic.
he would see that as an MC. So now this last one is a song near and dear to our hearts here. And I think you'll enjoy it once you see it. So go ahead and rate these bars
Leslie,
right
you better
here.
guess it.
You funny. So
You got
the vicious
words?
cycle
I don't see
again.
it.
People just can't
chat.
comprehend. Why do I slip my wrist with a pen to find out where the rhyme begins? It depends on the time of day, or better yet, the time of night when I stay up late in frustration or sweet delight. So the mixed emotions slowly manifest themselves on the page, eject the rhyme on my mind in a written rage. My thought draws a blank as my words completely vanish, and I smile as the lyrical demons are finally banished. Breathing heavily as I empty my thoughts, I tried to relax, but the bars keep forming right back. I think I'm having a relapse. So this is,
What? Oh damn, who is this?
this is a very interesting rap here. You got some simple things.
Who came out with that?
So some of this is like a good imagery. I like the imagery here, painting the picture. Because like again, you seeing that someone's frustrated, they up late at night. I think
nice.
this could be a little cleaner sometimes, it gets a little extended over some of the bars, but again, I think some people when they rap, it's that offbeat rap that they like.
I mean,
I'd probably
Blueface
give
gets to
this,
do it,
Blue, you're right about that. I get it as a 4 out
Carisha.
of 5. I get it as a 4 out of 5. I like the imagery.
A 4 out of
I like
5, not a
seeing-
5. Not a 5 out of 5.
I
A
think
five,
it's
yeah.
nice to be humble when you're looking at certain lyrics, So I definitely
You
get
gotta
that
be
a 4 out of
humble.
5.
My
For
man
the-
said my mind draws a blank.
For our
as the words
listeners-
completely vanished. What that I felt that. That makes
For our
sense to me.
listeners that don't know, this is AnUrbanNerd. This is therapy right here.
This
Oh
is
shit,
my
that was you,
therapy.
Josh. I didn't know.
This is
Just
therapy
kidding.
right
I was gonna
here.
say what?
I appreciate
No,
you,
I
though,
obviously
Sean.
did.
I appreciate you, though, Sean. I was.
Well,
Look
that
at
does
you.
conclude grade the rhymes.
That
So
was good. I like that game.
Yo, I always wanted to play this, yo. I appreciate you. I always wanted to play this game.
I thought you'd appreciate this, bro. It's just for you. Just for you. But you know, we can't let you get out of here with some hot button questions. Okay. You don't get to leave this motherfucker unscathed.
Look, I'm here.
All right. You're
I'm
gonna
hot
get
seat.
you're
Go
gonna
for
get
it.
burned today.
Let's
All
go.
right.
So violent.
All right. Spell millennial.
You're taking
What
too
happened?
long, nigga. You don't
Spell
know.
millennial.
Spell millennial.
You don't know.
Oh.
Can you spell millennial?
Millennial?
He's stalling.
Oh, he said one N.
Incorrect.
Oh, it's two N's.
Yes, nigga. Two.
I always mess
N.
up the L. I always mess up
Two
the
L's,
L.
two N's.
I
And I
thought you
had
were
to
teaching
catch
the
it, but
children the
whenever
future.
I
What is
spell-
going on?
Oh, look, I'm technical. My numbers are right. My words might be
Listen, I
wrong.
just feel like hearing. That's what I got for y'all.
Be clear.
Who would be your dream date to take to prom? Who would have been your dream date to take to prom back in the day?
It's funny. So it depends on when you caught me back in the day.
For your senior prom.
Senior prom, because
Mhm.
just like that's where I was at, Halle Berry.
Oh,
You
okay.
Halle
like older.
Berry.
You like a little cougar on your
Short hair,
side.
Halle
I
Berry.
thought you was gonna say like Janet
I
Jackson
will,
or something.
I will defend Catwoman. I like it's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. But we got to see Halle Berry in a cat suit.
We
It
did.
is what
We
it
did.
is.
Come
We
But
did.
yes, that would be my prom date.
Okay. Okay. Who would be your dream rap battle? Who would you love to battle? Like you had the chance to battle anybody in rap, who would it be?
To battle,
Yes, sir.
if we talking about battling, though.
16 bars
All right.
apiece.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. So if we talking about battling.
Think long and hard. Don't say me because I'll destroy your ass.
Nah, it's if we talking about battling, it would be between, and of course, you like respect to all the battle rappers, right? Respect to all the battle rappers. But right now, just because all these people that I listen to, it would either be Royce the 5'9" or Eminem.
Interesting.
Because they have
That's
like,
gonna be a long day.
I know, but is that the crazy rhyme scheme and the fact that they can like pull any kind of words to break them down? It's ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense how they can like bend words to their will. But yeah, why not? I get destroyed for that. Like it's gonna be dope.
I used to watch that show back in the day. I think it was on like MTV or something with the rap battles.
Yeah.
And I think I remember Remy Ma was really big on there, and she used to go against this girl, Lady Luck.
This is before
Oh, you know
prison.
what I'm talking about? Lady Luck and Remy
Yeah.
Ma. They had like 6 battles against each
Yo,
other.
people sleep on Remy, but Remy
Yeah,
does
She's
she was
quite
nice.
talented. She's quite talented.
Remy Ma be spitting.
for real.
That's crazy. Sorry.
No.
You
That's
good?
okay. No. Those are definitely appropriate.
Speaking
So,
of, just a little side note, and speaking of Remy Ma, did y'all know that Papoose dropped 12 albums last year? He dropped an album each month last year.
I did not
Oh.
know
I
that
didn't
there's
know
so many
Papoose had
goddamn.
one
I know that he
album.
released something recently because I saw the
Them
video
joints
for
came-
it. But
He
They
dropped
couldn't
one
be
each
too
month
long.
last
Then
year.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's
He was on
see,
the-
the only Papoose even song I know is
Him on the
him
remix.
on the Touch It remix.
Uh-huh. Because you
My
know that's
brother's
your
dead.
song.
You don't understand. You know, that's my shit.
Papoose
That's
also,
all I know.
man. Papoose don't get respect.
I
Alphabetical
know.
slaughter.
the problem, the reason Papoose does not get respect is because he does not know how to make a record. It's just that simple. It's just that
Yeah,
simple.
it's something
Papoose
about
and
making them pop
Cassidy.
songs, like the ones that people like. Like
the thing is that
he don't
I
got
know
no
you're
radio play.
talented. I know you're talented. I know you know how to fit rhymes in and
Yeah.
all the technical parts of rap, but you do not know how to make a record. And until you
Yeah.
learn how to do that,
That's some good
ain't nobody
commercial.
gonna play you and stream you. It's not happening.
Well,
It's true.
he put 12 out, so he
I
tried to
mean,
get some-
Wale went through the same thing at first. It took
Excuse
some
me?
time to learn how to make a record. He
Excuse
had to
me?
learn too.
Yo,
He had
Excuse
to learn
me.
too.
Excuse
Wale-
me.
carefully.
I think we should go to the last hot button question. and stop.
Wow.
He said,
I'm
You better
I'ma
not
save
say
my
shit
comments
else
about Wale.
Wale.
I'm gonna
I
save
love
my
Wale,
comments
though.
about
Look,
Wale.
Leslie and Josh Newt don't.
I fuck
I
with
love
Wale.
him.
I
He's
fuck with
great.
Wale. I do.
I've met
If-
Wale on
if-
like 5 occasions. He's dope.
Good.
I'll
I
come
don't
back.
have. I
I'll
don't
come back
want
to
to. I don't. Let's go to your next question, please, because you
Oh,
know fuck me
God.
up, Tristan.
Who would be your dream artist to work with and collaborate with?
This is the joint, right?
Wale.
I've thought about this all the time. there's probably gonna be like a top 3,
Okay, bust them.
top
Okay,
top
give 'em.
5. I'm trying to shorten the list for you. Number 1 off rip, Cole. It's gonna be J. Cole.
Okay.
Because I realized when I got to go to
Will
J.
y'all
Cole
compare
concert
lock
in
up keep it?
DC.
Shut up.
I got to a J. Cole concert and I realized right before I was like, let me just listen to Spotify. And I was like, yo, I know way more Cole than I realized. And I already knew that I knew a lot. But when I went to the concert, I knew every song. But if I get a Cole like produced beat and to do just something, that I think that would be crazy. Listening to Dreamers, how they joint, you could watch them record their process. That joint would be crazy. Kendrick, just because Kendrick is Kendrick. Because whenever I'm spazzing, I feel like that's always like what I think about that raw, which goes through the lineage of Naughty by Nature. It goes through the lineage of like those LA rappers that like speed. Because there's a lot of times like people try to talk about like old Cali rappers, but don't give respect to like the speed lyric benders that were out there for a minute that Kendrick learned from. Probably the third, which would be random, I would say 4, Big Crit. I mess with Big Crit. I mess with
I
Big
knew you
Crit.
was gonna get excited.
Mad. I'm so mad I was not on with Big Crit when he came to DC. Because I think all of y'all was talking about, oh, the Big Crit, the Big Crit. I was like, who's Big Crit? I don't know who Big Crit is.
Yeah, man. You
But
gotta
I went
hit
with
Crit,
Aaron and
dog.
them to the
Crit,
concert
dog.
back in 2012.
I'll tell you, Catalactica, that shit changed like how I look at a lot of music. Like Catalactica, a lot of his new joints that came out. And I always jokingly say, if I get famous, let me get Big Crit famous, because he famous, but he could walk around and talk to people and not have to worry about nothing.
And then he lost that weight, so nobody know what he look like right now. So you know it's fine.
Big beard and everything, right?
He used to be Big Crit.
Hey, Crit.
He's in shape,
Last-
Crit, right now. He in shape.
Last would be
Handshake Crit.
Childish Gambino.
Oh, very nice. But you know what? That's appropriate because like both of y'all kind of have like alter egos, you know, like
Yeah.
Donald Glover, Josh Brown, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Urban Nerd, Childish Gambino.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm just saying, the comparisons are there. Like I didn't want to do it earlier, but you did it, so it's fine.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, but no, wait, now with that one, that begs a follow-up question. Is he singing and you're rapping, or y'all both rapping? What's good? What is this project?
I
like?
mean, whatever he feel like doing, because he can do
Okay.
it all.
All right. Okay.
Real.
All right. You got it. And last but not least, sir, what's your top 5?
Dog. Okay.
Bro, you can't come
So,
on as an MC
here's
on
how I
here and
break it
not give
down.
us your top 5.
I got you. Yeah, I always got it ready. It shifted around a couple times. But I'm gonna tell you this is how I break it down, right? And I had this conversation actually with an old friend that y'all know. But this is the best way that I heard it broken down. It's different. Y'all probably wouldn't even think of the person. I'll talk about that later. But they broke it down as if you could battle, if you could freestyle, and if you could do like records.
Rock a party.
Like that was their 3 category for like a dope MC, dope rapper. So off of that, I answer this in a minute. My top 5, I feel like I'll start the other way around. I would throw number 5, Ludacris.
Okay.
Because people
All
don't
right.
put respect on Ludacris's name.
They should.
And he changed a lot of watching how the baby does stuff. That's how Ludacris was doing stuff as far as like caricature, music videos, putting on a whole team. Like there would be no 2 Chainz. There wouldn't be a lot of the people that like Ludacris put on DTP. Like definitely, I put big props for Ludacris, and even how he moved from what's it called, rapper to like actor and all these other things. Like he was one of the real big ones to do that early on. From there, number 4. This moves around because there'll be some people that I would have up here that like now that we've had some good years, they solidified their spot. I would put number 4. I'll come back to number 4. Number 1, who's just like been around and you got to get them props. I got to give it to Jay-Z. I do. Okay. And I used to not be like a believer. But now that I'm like looking back through it from his lineage and everything else, I'm like, you gotta give him props. Oh yeah, nope, I got it. That worked out. Yeah. So from Jay-Z now, doing his thing, making his props and everything else, he really helped pave the way for a lot of people too. And like he ain't got no problem shooting some slick disses to rappers coming up saying his name. And between like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, and everybody else, he still will like talk shit and be like, get your money up, and I still will help you with your taxes. Number two, I gotta give Nas. Like Nas definitely was someone that you talk about storyteller. You talk about man, like If I Could Rule the World, like One Mic, like there's so many of them joints. And even now, like hearing The End, hearing what's it called? Nigga. Like there's a lot of joints that he pushes and tries, and he may not get that clout as far as the record. But when you start listening to his lyrics in his new album, which a lot of people didn't hear, but I listened to
King's Disease too, right?
Yo, I listened to Kanye's joint, I listened to Drake's joint, and I listened to Nas' joint. And me and my cousin was like, why isn't everybody bumping this joint? Because compared to everything that was out last year, King's Disease was raw. That joint was true. And he got a brunch song up there for all of y'all too. Now the two spots that kind of shifts between third, fourth is going to be Cole and Kendrick. It depends on where I'm at. I really want to catch Kendrick in concert now, but that concert where he had Dave Chappelle like cracking jokes while he's doing his set, the fact that he curated the freaking Black Panther album, come on now, like there's so many songs up there for him to have like all these vibes of like you feeling like you're getting like baptized in this blackness, and then you feel like he about to like run up on somebody and like was gonna rob somebody. Like he blends so much shit together, from like symphonies to the lyrics to like Ludwig, who was producing that joint. Crazy how much things he's able to mix together and give you a story, you know. So that's always been like up there for me. And Cole's just Cole. Like again, his team, you can see how he's putting people together between him producing music, because there's a lot of music that he's produced between producing, oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now. He produced so many people on The Load, and he's humble about that joint, you would never know. But he's also that person that you could see his transition through the time, and he's still hungry in that joint. The Leakers freestyle was ridiculous. He's still out here spitting that joint, like he's still hungry and able to really bridge that gap between some old heads and young heads. So Jay, Nas, Cole, Kendrick, Big Crit. Oh no, I said Ludacris. Ludacris to be my fifth. That would be my five.
All right then.
Okay.
That's a respectable list right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a couple names on yours that I have on mine, so I like your list. You know,
It's lineage, right? Because I'm always like, yo, Ludacris came out from what? Scarface, Pimp C, like the South. Like you really see Jay-Z, Nas following Biggie and everybody else, Kendrick, Pac. Like there's a lineage of it behind it too. But yeah, man, you know, I could talk about this for days.
Absolutely. Look, unfortunately, we don't have days here. We don't have it. But if we did, brother, we would let you do it. But man, thank you so much for stopping by today, brother.
I
and
appreciate
blessing
y'all.
us.
Yeah.
Dropping gems on us, man. You know, engineering gems, poetry gems, teaching gems, rapping gems.
They wasn't spelling gems, but I mean, he did with
Damn.
Hey,
What up?
Shauna.
What position do I have, Shauna?
I'm just kidding.
What position do I have, Shauna?
Right. He's
You wanna
saying
say it out loud?
Oh man, the
I
teacher
have
flat
no
back
idea.
is
I
real.
looked at that word. I said, damn, early when we was on the phone, I said, oh, that's what that word is,
Exactly.
Leslie.
Can't say laureate.
Oh man, hilarious. I love it.
You a
But
new London laureate.
There you go. Poet Laureate. There you
He's
go.
the new London Poet Laureate, man. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, brother, we appreciate you again. And we're definitely going to have you back on here sometime. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, anytime
We'll
I
get
told
that
you, I'm
live
a
show together.
fan. Shout out to y'all, because y'all been putting in work for real.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, we're doing what we can.
Excited to be here.
But brother, before you get out of here, is there anything you'd like to tell the people or anything new that you have working on it? You know?
Where to
Because I
find
mean,
you?
I know me, I love premeditated and I'm looking for something else. Because I mean, I definitely bumped that joint at least about 5 or 6 times just today, just to get my shit fresh again. I was like, ooh, premeditated is
Of
my
course.
shit.
So for those that don't know, premeditated murder is one of my cocky joints. Like I got a rare amount of cocky songs, but
It's probably my favorite beat that you're on. I love that beat. I don't know who produced that, but shout out to them. I love that.
Man, I'm forgetting his
Yeah.
name right now, but if that's the song I'm thinking about, I heard it and I was like, I need this. He's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, how much? Give me this joint. Like, so producer out in New Haven. I'm gonna remember his name as soon as I hang up, but like, yo, no, shout out to him too. You can find me at Instagram. You can find me at my website, www.AnUrbanNerd.com. And Urban Nerd's all one word, ANURBANNERD, for those who think I can't spell. And with that, Spotify, of course, like I said, I got 2 EPs out, Train of Thought and Don't Overthink It. I named it Don't Overthink It because Lord knows I be overthinking and we be overthinking.
And you'll find premeditated as the last song on Don't Overthink It. Just gonna put that out.
Yes. So I, have a bunch of artists that I collaborate with. Chiva, Erica, the dope singer. Chiva's a guitarist. I got some dope producers. I love them. People can hear my old joint and then listen to the new joint to hear the progression. And I would always tell people it's never too late to try something new and to give your gift back because your gift is not your own. Stop not sharing your gift with the world because it's frustrating. How many are like, oh, when I do this and I get this? Nah, y'all started this podcast when y'all probably thought y'all wasn't ready. And now you can see where you at now. And half of what y'all are doing, because I know y'all personally, everything that y'all doing, you have to get that build up your own confidence, speak life into your own self, because nobody else is going to do it. And I'll leave y'all with a Hill Harper quote. He probably stole it from someone else, but I'm gonna steal it from him too. He said, success is when timing meets, success is when opportunity meets preparation. So, if you're always ready, you ain't got to get ready.
If you're always
Talk
ready, you
about
ain't gotta
it.
get ready. I love that we just left this off on a TED Talk. I'm here for the positivity.
That's a word. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, all right,
appreciate
brother.
y'all, man.
Until the next time, big dog.
Bye.
Yo, thanks so much, Josh.
Thank y'all.
It's really nothing just to keep you smiling. You can come and kick it like monk straight out of Shaolin. Brown skin mama. Always avoid the drama.
And you know what time it is? It's time to go outside. It's time to stretch our legs. It's time to recess. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sean, take it away.
Leslie, you laughing because I always say I'm gonna get a new sound and then I don't.
You really could.
But it
You
was
really
a slow-mo
could.
for me.
Just like fucking TikTok, you could have a new sound. You could do it.
Oh, I don't really know that reference, but okay.
Wow. Okay.
So we're gonna get y'all started with some talk in the music world. Tristan, I know you wanted to talk to us about this whole, would you say the best artist we've never heard of?
Okay.
Who is
So,
this young fella? Can we give a shout out?
yeah, his name is Jared Romain. That's JarodRomain. Yeah, Romain. And he's like a partial gospel artist. He makes some secular music as well, but like the dude is like 100%er. He plays several different instruments and puts all his own music together. He's on all the platforms, so definitely check him out. I can't even go through all his songs because low key I heard like 5 or 6 like back to back, and they were all fucking good. I was like, bro, where you been? Like, where you been hiding? Clearly, he says he ain't got his music to the right people. I was like, bro, who are the wrong people? Because your music is good. It's good stuff. Like I was just very impressed with him. He was doing his
We
thing.
definitely need to go check that out.
Mhm.
We also got some Pink Sweat on here. The only Pink Sweat song I know is Honesty, and I probably have heard that song 100,000 times.
You've heard other Pink Sweat songs and didn't even realize you heard them.
I
Pink Sweat's is
probably
decent.
didn't. So tell me about this Pink Moon.
Oh, it's dope. It was a whole vibe. Like he has so many like different features on there from Kirby's on there, Blast, Black, or as we like to say Six Slack. Tori Kelly, Sabrina Claudio. Like he has all the features on there. The whole little EP is a vibe. I was digging every single song. It was on repeat this weekend along with that new Naja. She was on repeat as well. she's the whole vibe. So it was some good music.
What is that new Naja that Don't Say I Didn't Warn You?
Yeah, Don't Say I Didn't Warn You. She's been a singer-songwriter for a while, so now she's putting out her own music and stuff like that. Not One of Them is like my anthem. So maybe I'm not one of them, so don't get me confused with it. So I was really,
That's not surprising at all.
Right.
That
tracks.
I had to use that on my little IG story when I posted my selfie. Don't get it confused, baby. I ain't one of them.
If
So
nothing
in the
else,
title, that sounds like what you put on your gym playlist. Like I'm working out, like how to talk shit. I ain't one of them, you know.
Exactly. You got to let these know I ain't one of them. you
all
know?
I know is that the artwork for Pink Sweats, Pink Moon is probably some of the best I've seen in a while. Because he tried to take like an anime vibe approach. So like low key, it looks like lo-fi beats. Like you know how like you have the lo-fi beats thing, you play them and like it has like the little art. It really looks like that. Like I thought it was lo-fi beats when I first saw it. I was like, oh shit, who put out some lo-fi beats? I was like, oh, this Pink Sweats. Oh, okay, that's cool.
That's like what we were shooting for initially with our like YouTube video thing or whatever with the artistry. So yeah, but no, definitely check those out if y'all haven't yet. They're a whole vibe, just something that's just to play and just vibe out to for real.
Moving on to some movies. I know I said I've been watching TV all weekend, and one of the main things, first I'm going to talk about this, the Tinder Swindler on Netflix. Did you watch that, Leslie?
Yeah, so I came home Friday night and, you know, I just like to have stuff on in the background as I'm like, you know, getting ready for bed, just, you know, relaxing type of thing. And so I didn't want to put on something that I really wanted to pay attention to, just something in the background. So I was like, just as soon as I opened Netflix, this was, you know, the main thing up there.
Like kept popping up, right?
Yeah, exactly. I said, oh, this must have just came out because I hadn't seen this on here before. And so I just started playing it or whatever, not really thinking none of it. And then it started, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how in the world did he finesse these women out of like $250,000 and these ridiculous, like this one girl had got 9 credit lines for him and just, it was just insane. But I mean, honestly,
real life dirty
like,
rotten scoundrels, man. Shit is crazy.
that's what, but all it takes is that smooth talking in the beginning, getting your walls down, make you feel like you're the one, and then that's how they get
I'm
you.
taking notes, bro, because this is about to be me. You know what? I fucked up and I didn't scam with the PPP shit. So now
So this is the new scam for you. But you realize that you late in the game. This scam been going on since the beginning of time. So
it
like,
was just funny to see the Lifetime version on Netflix because that was definitely giving Lifetime.
Yeah.
oh for sure, absolutely. No, they had all those vibes.
And he only went to jail for a few months, and like nothing happened. Like the women are having to pay the money back themselves. Like he didn't have to do any type of like restitution or anything. Like it's just like he essentially got away with it, and now he's back in Israel still, you know, flossing for the gram and all this stuff. So I'm just
Where'd you say he was?
He's back in Israel now.
Oh,
He was
okay,
all
interesting.
over, like,
It's interesting.
he
That's where he is.
I got nervous. I was like, please don't say it again.
Oh,
Leslie.
yeah,
Please.
Don't say it again.
Oh,
We don't want
shit.
no problems, y'all. I'm just
Oh
supporting what
man,
happened in
that's
this
pretty
movie.
good.
Next movie. Oh my gosh.
Right. No, seriously. So
Speaking
back to
of
Black
Netflix,
folks.
did you watch Single Black Female? I didn't get a chance to watch it. I kept seeing
I haven't seen it
previews.
yet, but it does look
That may come, and I didn't see
looks
it.
all right.
It was a true Lifetime movie, but it was good. I
The
appreciate
trailer
it.
gave True Lifetime.
But the plot was good though. Like I didn't see the plot initially. My mama guessed it. I was like, oh, I didn't even pick up on that. So they have a little twist in the plot, which makes sense for the whole, you know, story or whatever. But shout out to Amber Riley and Raven Goodwin. They both did an amazing job. Crazy thing is, you know how when they're advertising the movie and they have like, you know, their picture up there and their names on there, they had their freaking names switched. Even Lifetime couldn't tell them apart. They had Amber's name on Raven and Raven's name on Amber. I said, come on, Lifetime. And then TikTok picked up on it. So of course it's circulating on TikTok. And I'm just like, you can't even get
We all look
names
alike.
right.
We all look alike. But you know what's crazy? How many eyes did that go past? How many eyes did that go past for y'all?
And they still didn't fix it because it was still like that, you know, advertising into the weekend. So they never fixed it.
Do you remember that Gap ad, or no, it was H&M, right? Where they had the little black boy wearing
And
that
the
hoodie
monkey.
with coolest monkey in the jungle, right? Like the reason that offended me so is because like how many people saw that shit and y'all still thought it was cool? Everybody
Right.
was like, oh yeah, this is gonna hit. Not one person thought, maybe we should do something
No,
different.
they did. They just got shut up because they was Black. So,
Or the thing is, they didn't have enough Black people on the diversity. Like, they don't have enough diversity in these companies to be like, yo, that's not cool. No, we shouldn't do that. You gonna have problems. Like, they don't have that. They have
No
a
one
whole
thought
diversity.
like
Yes.
this could be an issue. Not one person thought, like the mother that saw it. Nobody. Like, I'm just saying, like, how many people saw this shit and then still let it go? Like, that's what
Right.
really blows my mind. Like, how many hundreds of thousands of people work at these establishments and they still fuck this up? Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
I really just don't understand it. Really don't understand it. But last but not least, on our movie board, we have a Oscar Michael.
Michaud, Oscar Michaud,
Michael.
Oscar
It's given
Michaud.
French. It's given French.
The last name is French, yes. Oscar
Okay.
Michaud is the first Black filmmaker to make a major motion picture. He is actually born in Metropolis, Illinois. So it's like the very southern tip of like Illinois, closer to Kentucky. And no, his story is an incredible one, man. Like, he's like one of like 7 children or something crazy. He's like a middle child. And then like he was a Pullman porter for the time and rode around. And then he decided to go to South Dakota and Landstead. And then he ended up writing books about his life, sold the books door to door to make money, and then realized that he was going to make a movie. And then like started making these movies. And he actually was the first to introduce us to Paul Robeson. And like he really like captured like film in the silent film era. And he did switch like once they became sound, but people always kind of say it kind of hampered him. And I think it did, just because I mean he just didn't have access to all the same resources. But no, Oscar Michaud, the documentary is fantastic. They did an excellent job when to talk to so many different people. And his story is crazy. When you talk about perseverance, like, and people telling you can't do something, like it pales in comparison to even Rudy Ray Moore, and like Dolomite Is My Name. Like, he believed in himself, but like he still had the advantage of seeing what else had been done. Oscar Michaud had nobody to show him this. Like, nobody could teach him any of this, and yet he did it himself. So like his story is just a phenomenal one. And for those who don't know who Oscar Michaud is, you better ask somebody and you better find out and look him up. It's fucking tremendous, man. Like, just as somebody who's into film, like, it's tremendous. So definitely check out the documentary. It's on HBO Max. You will enjoy it.
Check it out for sure.
Definitely. Go check that out. And y'all know what has been taking over Sunday nights. We're about to get into TV. Power. So
I ain't finished Power 1 yet. I'm getting there.
Oh Lord, we're gonna spoil it because this don't make no sense.
So they had the season finale of whatever series is called, and then we started Tommy's
Book 2.
So I was so excited about that, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it brief. I was not that excited. I was like very underwhelmed by Tommy's first episode.
Oh, same. I told my friend like it's got to give more in these next episodes, because I was just kind of like.
Can I ask y'all a question though? Were you excited the first episode of Power you saw? Like, were you really hooked the first episode?
Yeah.
Really?
Power,
the first episode
had me pulled in very first episode.
It took me 3 or 4.
Power Book 2 was easier because it was a continuation of the story, of course. But Power Book 1, I was entranced. Like the first episode, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a show that I can get into. Like, yeah, and you know how I am. I'm judgmental with shows. If it don't grasp me the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm out. So I need Tommy to do something to make it take. Otherwise, I'm out. But I think it will get good. So I don't have any, I think it'll be fine. But
I just know it takes place in the Shy. So hell yeah.
Whoop, whoop, shout out to the Shy. But back to Power Book 2. I thought Drew was gonna be a goner. I did not see
is Power not in New York?
It is.
What? Then why you?
He was talking about Tommy's. Tommy left New York.
Yeah, Force. It's called Force, right? Yeah, it's in Chicago.
Tommy left New York, remember?
Okay, but what were you gonna say about the finale?
I thought Drew was gonna be a goner, but he survived that because
these are spoilers, people, for people who want to watch the show. This is the time to cut the episode off.
Right, y'all had time. I didn't see Zeke getting killed, but I'm not mad that he's gone because I'm tired of his little slow self. Like, he got to go.
He did it at the same time. It's like,
yo, I feel like the opening of the next season is gonna be Monet trying to kill Lorenzo, because she already knows that he was the only. Which I'm mad at Diana, because Diana could have kept her mouth shut about what she saw in that bag. I was riding with Diana when she had the whole spill at the dinner table. I was like, that's fair, because they was trying
very much Tyler Perry.
Yeah, it was. These are like our soap operas, though. Like her grandma had soap operas. These types of shows are
ours are just not about people marrying and 4 different families and stuff. They're just about murder and drugs. But yeah, they're the same thing.
Essentially, shout out to 50. He
I
knows how to make a good
definitely
show.
would.
That's for sure.
It was a great season finale. Just I wish that the new, what is that, Force just started with some more Force. But hopefully, see what I did there.
That was good.
But
That was good.
thanks, girl. Hopefully the rest of the season turns out to be better than that.
I think it will be. I think it's gonna, pick up in the next couple episodes. So
Definitely keep talking about it as time goes on to let y'all know how we feeling about this new Power series. But that's all I got for TV and movies right now.
okay.
All right. So does that bring us to the end, ladies? Have we come to the end of the road?
I think it does.
Man.
Every time I just think,
And you could do it. I mean, you're from Philly, so I mean, it makes sense.
go.
Okay. All right. That's enough of that. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 19. And again, thank you to Mr. Joshua Brown, aka an urban nerd, aka the new London Poet Laureate. A guy, wealth of information. He's out here and like with those rhymes, he's a killer. People are deceased. Okay. You can battle him at your own caution. All right. Beware. All right. You want to roll up at him in a battle, beware. Either way, y'all, but check us out on Instagram. Check out a couple of our reels. Check us out on TikTok. Check us out on Spotify, Google, Apple. We out here, man. Again, if you can't find us, you ain't looking. And if you ain't looking, you are hurting yourself because you're missing out on a good damn thing. That's all I'm going to do.
Just click the link tree in all of our bios. It's in our personal bios, and it's in the bio for our group Instagram. So like you literally have to press a button and you will find all of us, so just do it. I made it easy for y'all.
Exactly. That's exactly how it needs to be. But until the next time, guys, I've been Trez.
It's your girl Les.
Shine the dawn.
And even though the party may change, the vibe remains the same. We out, y'all.
Bye.